In this lesson, we will examine probability questions that involve the word AND. We'll begin by examining the following question to help introduce a general formula. Now in this question, we are selecting two balls without replacement, and we want to find the probability that both selected balls are green. Now it may not be obvious how selecting two green balls involves the word AND. To see this, we must first recognize that in order for the two selected balls to be green, the first ball must be green and the second ball must be green. So we can rewrite our probability as shown here. Another way to write this is to use the following notation. This denotes selecting a green ball on the first draw, and this denotes selecting a green ball on the second draw. Now let's identify the two events in this question. We'll say that event A is selecting a green ball on the first draw, and event B is selecting a green ball on the second draw. We want to find the probability that events A and B both occur. To do so, we'll introduce the AND probability formula. It says that the probability of events A and B both occurring is equal to the probability of event A times the probability of event B given that event A has already occurred. Now this notation may be foreign to you, so let's take a closer look. This denotes the probability that event B occurs given that event A has already occurred. We call this a conditional probability, and the vertical line here can be read as given that. Please note that other resources may use notation that is different from this notation. I happen to prefer this notation, but other notation is perfectly acceptable. Okay, now that we have a formula for handling probability questions involving the word AND, we can fill out the rest of this formula. Now let's answer the question. First, we need to find the probability of event A. Event A is selecting a green ball on the first draw. Since 4 of the 7 balls are green, the probability of selecting a green ball is 4/7. Now the next part. What is the probability of event B given that event A has already occurred? In other words, we want to find the probability that the second ball is green given that the first ball was green. If we assume that the first ball selected was green, what is the probability that the second ball will be green? Well, let's go up here to find out. Since we are assuming that the first ball was green, let's remove one of the green balls from the box. When we do this, we have 6 balls remaining, and 3 of them are green. So the probability is 3/6 that the second ball will be green, given that the first ball was green. At this point, we can multiply the two required probabilities to get the product, 12/42, and this simplifies to be 2/7. So the probability is 2/7 that both selected balls will be green. The AND probability formula is often useful for solving advanced questions. However, it isn't always obvious that a question requires this formula. Just remember that if a question requires the occurrence of two events, you should consider using this formula.